Tootie back? No. So he's out again?
Stop talking. For the love of all that is holy, people. All right, we're going to stop Bob Malden.
We're stopping Bob Malden now. And now we're going to craziness. Let's see. Hold on. Shh, shh. Really? We're going to move headphones. I said, shh. Put the headphones on. All right. I think we are live on the air because, you know, you guys can't follow directions. So having said that, I want to tell you this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Huddle Show, the #1 high school football show in Canton. I'm T.A. Hale of the Buzz Brothers, joined by Joel Elliott. We call him the counselor. Kyle K.O. Owens. Ken Mings, the engineer, working his magic over there. The 2021 high school football season.
And Adam.
And Adam.
Yes, Mike.
What's Adam's position? Just officially announce Adam, please.
Adam is my official assistant engineer. He's learning the biz.
It sounds like there's room for advancement, Adam. I'm excited about that. I've been called worse.
He's moved up from roadie, so he's doing good.
All right, the 2021 high school football season, it's already underway. Week 1 is in the books. We're going to bring you up to date with everything that happened last Friday night, give you a preview of what's coming up this Friday night. Guys, welcome. How are we doing?
Man, this is my favorite season. It's football. It's like Christmas. It's just longer, and then every week has its own theme. And
yes.
And I don't know if you've noticed the little football app. They've had to redo it, but
I did notice that.
It's back up and running again.
They went back to the old one.
Yes, they sure did. Yes.
Which is what they should have done in the first place. Should have never changed it.
The Dave Campbell High School Football Friday Night Football app. Week 1, it was like foreign to me.
It was horrible.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm glad you guys saw the same thing.
Yeah. But it's back up. It's going. So now I've got all my teams, all my Van Zant County teams, and I've thrown Mineola in there. You know, I've got it all laid out. And on Friday night, I literally go to the stadium, put my headphones on, listen to you guys, and scroll scores in the break. So, you know, it's my favorite time of the year. So.
Me too. KO, welcome to the show, man. Glad to have you here.
I've been here once before, but it was, look at that.
Got my attention.
Yeah, I know. I've been here once before. It wasn't at the Q and Brew here, so I'm happy to be. This is my first time here. It's the first time I've ever been here, so happy to be here. But glad to join y'all and talk a little high school football. I think we'll have fun.
I do too. We're gonna have a great season. So this week, Van Zant County, they went 3-3. You had Canton, Edgewood, and Van got victories. Wills Point, Grand Saline, and Fruitville lost. Before we get started, we're going to bring you team by team review. But I want to mention our colleague and friend, David Barber. You all, if you listen to this show very often, you realize he's not here. And so a bit of history took place this last Friday night in Van Zant County. David Barber's been to every Van football game since 1981. That's 443 straight games. And he was positive for COVID, so he could not go. He's doing fine, by the way. He's doing just fine. But that streak was broken, and I just want to just congratulate our friend David. He is truly a professional. He is truly a friend of the Van program and to Van Zant County football in general. We call him the godfather of East Texas football, and that's not a stretch. So, David, congratulations to you. That streak, I'll say, will probably never be challenged again.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So, David, congratulations. Look forward to having you back here next week, as well as probably on the sidelines with the Vandals this Friday night. So, with that, one more announcement here. For the listeners of our show, KWJB 95.1 The B have joined forces with KMU, and That's kind of like when Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker joined at the very end of The Empire Strikes Back. You remember that? And well, that might be a bad example because Darth Vader died after that.
I wasn't sure where you were going
He
with
died.
that.
Okay, we'll do that another way.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you should have thought about that a little bit more. I'm
didn't
just
think
saying.
that through.
It's more like Cobra Kai when Johnny.
Yeah,
and-
Cobra Kai.
Now that's better.
There you go.
There we
That's
go.
better. No, but we have joined forces. We're excited to be together with KMU. We're gonna bring y'all all the action and have a great time this year. So with that, let's move into our first team that we're gonna go over. Joel, do you have who do you have for us?
Well, I can start with Grand Saline, and I'll just tell you, everybody knows that that's where I grew up, and my pops went to school there, and my grandpa went to school there, and then my brother and I both took our kids and left.
The history runs deep there.
So,
No, seriously, who knew that?
so anyway, didn't get a chance to talk to Coach Drennan, but I did talk to Micah Lewis, which his dad and my dad coached together for years, way back when Grand Saline first started winning a few games. Back about the time David started covering Van.
Mike is the superintendent there.
He's the
at
superintendent now, yes. So, and I know I listened to the post-game show on KMO the other night and was really trying to root for Grand Saline to get that Spirit Award or whatever it is that would make you go back to Grand Saline again.
Yeah.
Anyway, but they had a game that it came down to the wire at the end against Cooper. Grand Saline scores. They go for two. They ended up losing the game 25-23. And after talking to Micah, this is one where they went for two. It was caught. It, by all accounts, was in bounds, except the ref said that he was out of bounds and called it incomplete. I've also been told that after the game, the refs actually watched the video and saw that he was in bounds, said not just 1, maybe 2, or even 3 feet in bounds.
Okay, I'm filling out a protest form. Hang on. Just a second.
You got plenty. I know
Protest
you
form
always got
number
them in
1. I'm
that
writing
bag.
that down. Okay, got it. Here we go.
So, nonetheless, Drennan completely, class act, and it reminds me a lot of coaches that are the class act. He says Grand Saline should have never been in the position for that to have mattered.
Yeah.
And, and Mike and I talked about right now, and I think y'all even talked about it on KMO on Friday, there's a shortage of referees in the state. I mean, they're having to play games on Tuesdays and Thursdays to try to get all these games in. So, and I don't know if that was the case with these refs, but you're going to have some people that are in their first season. This would have been their first real game.
I never thought of that.
I don't know that that's the issue, but I know that referees just getting out and doing this, there's a shortage of them right now. So, whatever that may be, it is. Now, I'll tell you the other thing. I pulled up the East Texas honor roll, which Canton didn't have anybody on. I saw Mineola, Van, and Grand Saline now.
And we never get any credit. That's it.
Canton wins, and Mineola gets the studs in the Tyler paper. But
Okay.
Well, these are entered by the coaches, so
Right.
let's talk to Coach Hubble about that.
okay, now you kind of. I don't want to be the one to be in trouble here. So Grand Saline had 3 kids that were on there. Jace Melton. This is at least his third. It may be his 4th year as the quarterback. I mean,
He's a senior?
He's a senior.
He started as a sophomore, so this is his 3rd year.
So he's been around. He's seasoned. Brett Kendall, who is a buddy of mine from high school, we actually roomed together down in Waco. It's his son, and Michael Henson. The pass that was caught in the end zone but was called incomplete for going out of bounds was Hudson Griffin. So those 4 actually had big games. Melton passed for 183 yards and rushed for 34 and a touchdown. Kendall had 7 catches for 72 yards, and Henson had 9 tackles and a forced fumble. So Grand Saline is on their way back up.
Yes.
Now, this isn't from anybody in Grand Saline. It's just from what I've observed so far. Some of the skill positions are doing well. They're kind of having to get back in line with their line. Their line is not what it used to be. They're young. They're not quite as large. One thing Grand Saline's usually had, even in the years that they're down, they usually have big linemen.
Yeah.
So, that may be one of the challenges that they're having this year. I don't know if we're going to talk about next week right now, but
Go ahead. And KO, you were at that game. You were at the Grand Saline game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Grand Saline was supposed to play, and I can't even remember who it was because it was supposed to play Palmer. Palmer has canceled because of COVID. So Grand Saline has scheduled Trinity away. Now, that's about a 2.5-hour drive.
It's a trip.
Who is Trinity? Help me with Trinity.
Trinity
Tigers.
The Trinity Tigers, they're in the same area. I don't know if they're in the same district with
classification.
I think it's the Groveton, Alto, Elkhart area of the state.
All right.
Grand Saline, now this is me showing my age. I was a little kid when this happened, but back in the 80s when Grand Saline was just first starting to take off, probably somewhere around 84, 85, they played Trinity in the playoffs. So it's been a long time since those two schools have met. They haven't played since then. You probably got to be in your mid-40s to even remember, or older to remember that Grand Saline and Trinity had played. I don't think Trinity is going to be a really, really – it may be a good game. I don't think this is a deal where we're going to go down there and get it handed to us. This should be a good game.
Good.
Hopefully the 2.5-hour drive doesn't hurt anybody, and hopefully everybody stays healthy and stays clear of the COVID. I don't think there's any injuries from what I understand from Friday night. So
that's a good thing.
So Grand Saline should be back up and running and taking on a school that they haven't played in, I don't know, 40, 35 years, something like that. So
a couple of things. So Trinity is 3A Division I. They're in District 9 with Cold Spring, Elkhart, Westwood, Huntington, Crockett, and Diboll.
Okay, they're not that far away from us.
Yeah, not too far. So
that's a 3A, small 3A or big?
The Division I, they're big 3A, and Grand Saline small 3A.
Gotcha.
So they're playing up a little bit, but not bad. Trinity lost last week to Hearn 36-6, so they're coming off a big loss. The thing I noticed about the Grand Saline game, they did have a starter on the line out on both sides. Bryce Holland didn't play. He had went home sick Friday, and so Drennan held him out. So he didn't play. I think that would have helped, but you're right about the size. Me and Jeremy were in the booth when they came out on the field, and we were like, man, Cooper is big. Like, they had some big kids. So, and they just pounded the ball all night. I think they may have thrown 2 or 3 passes the whole night. So they were pounding Grand Saline. In the first half, Grand Saline held on to the ball. Another name we need to shout out, Caleb Amaya, the running back for Grand Saline. He had a really good game. But you're right. The line, I think, was a problem Friday night. Cooper was able to get a lot of penetration. Jace had a good ball game. Henson, Hudson Griffin, they all had good ball games. The second half was kind of a reversal of the first half. In the second half, Cooper held on to the ball the entire time. And I think it just kind of wore down that Grand Saline defense. But you go to that 2-point conversion that wasn't called, Grand Saline kicks an onside kick and gets it back. Right. So they had a chance. Wow. They still had a chance. And then there was
how much time was left when they recovered?
About 2 minutes.
Oh,
about
okay.
2 minutes.
Some
so
time then.
They had some time, and I think one timeout. So they ran a play, and then they threw a deep ball that got intercepted. Oh. So that's how the game ended. But last year, Cooper beat Grand Saline 54-0. And so this year, to only lose by 2 points and have a chance to win it just shows how far Coach Drennan's brought the program in just 1 year. So
that's a great point.
I think Grand Saline will be fine.
Okay,
I think they'll be fine.
That's a great point.
Well, and with y'all's connection to Mineola, I mean, y'all seen what he can do.
He can turn a program around.
Yeah,
He's a heck of a coach. So I know last year, dealing with COVID and all that, he had to really struggle being the first year at Grand Saline. Mm-hmm. But once he gets this team kind of the direction he wants it, Grand Saline will be fine. They can't let this loss linger. They just got to move on and beat Trinity this week. And I think they will. I think they'll beat Trinity pretty handily, in my opinion.
And that's needed. There's a culture change happening, and that doesn't happen overnight. And so, a win is really needed here. I hate it that, and not that this year's over yet. It's not. Chase Melton, he's been the starter since he was a sophomore, and there've been some rough years. Yeah. It just happens to have been some rough years while he's there, and so I'd love to see them go ahead and have some success this year, his senior year, and I'm sure they will. So that's.
And for anybody who's from Grand Saline that's listening to this, y'all lost the spirit stick by by one vote, and I even voted for Grand Saline to try to get y'all to win. So.
in their defense, Quitman won it, and they won their first game in 3 years.
Oh, well.
So it's due. It's
good for them.
And only their second game in the past 73 contests. So
no,
they deserve it.
Who'd they beat, KO?
They beat Cumbie. And here you go. Here's a little fact for you. The last team that Quitman beat before Friday night was Cumbie back in 2018.
Poor Cumbie.
They're 2-0 against Cumbie, so they're good.
And
schedule Cumbie.
Hold on, I got a question. Did they come from a 21-3 deficit in the third quarter to win?
They didn't have to. They were already up 23-0.
Yeah. I'm just pointing out.
I see where you're going with that.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
As long as you feel me, homie.
Don't confuse us, Ken.
I got you. I'm with you.
Hold on. I'm out.
All right, so good luck to Coach Drennan and the Indians next week. They go to play Trinity, and we wish them all the best. So let's move on to, or Ken, should we hit some sponsors first?
Nope, he's off.
Hold on. I would greatly appreciate it if you would announce some of the people who have made it possible for you idiots, you people, to speak on the air at this point.
I'm tired of Junior bossing me around, Ken, so just tell him.
That's just how I roll. Uphill, downhill, it doesn't matter. I'm rolling, I'm round. That's what happens.
And now a word from our sponsors. Sensible Dentistry. 1350 South Trade Days Boulevard, Canton, Texas. Down Home Cafe, daily breakfast and lunch specials.
Hold on. The Sensible Dentistry, was that aimed at me? I'm just asking. Anyway, go back to the
Not that I know of.
Just go back to the Sensible.
Sensible wouldn't describe you. Down Home Cafe, almost world famous. Daily breakfast and lunch specials. Goods, Texaco, and Tires in Van, Texas, 172 East Main, 903-963-7848. We sell service at Goods Service Station. Dean Kubota in Wills Point, 903-873-2451. Exit Realty in Canton, 903-567-7777. Easy to remember. Hall Chevrolet, find new roads. Canton, Texas, 903-567-4106. In the Tim James Insurance Agency, auto, home, business, farm insurance. Reach them at 903-567-0627. And don't forget Mill Creek Dental. Dr. Ann Aduddle, friend of mine actually. 104 Burnett Trail, 903-567-2207. State Farm Insurance. Rick Johns, another friend of mine. 903-873-2858. He's in Wills Point. Taylor Automotive, LLC, 27928 Highway 64, 903-567-3948. Higginbotham Brothers. I go in there a lot, y'all. They have to help me when I have home improvement needs. They have to kind of help me. They say, what do you need, TA? And I have to kind of show them. I say, well, I got this thing. It's like this, and the one thing's shaped like this, and they try to help me a lot. Higginbotham Brothers, Thompson Equipment in Wills Point. Reach them at 903-865-1616. And finally, Wills Point Ford. What matters to you matters to us. 903-873-2511. And those are our sponsors.
And if I ever meet somebody who TA is not a friend of, I'm going to buy that fella a Webster Daniel cigar. I'm just saying. It's back to you, Ta.
Okay. Well, guys, we thank you to our sponsors. We're going to move on to the next team that we've got for you here. Anybody got any preference what we want to go to next?
I'm following your lead.
Okay. Well, let's go to Canton. That'll cover Canton and Mineola. And so Canton, coming off of just kind of to preview them because we didn't do the show last week actually. So coming off a 3-7 year last year. Finished 4th in district, and I say that because the record that they had last year is a little bit deceiving. You could see some improvement coming, and you could kind of tell where this thing might have been going. And so this was Coach Casey Hubble's first year here. And so Friday night's game and their win over Mineola, it was really important. It did a lot for this team. Canton won that one, 24-21. Obviously, if you followed along, it was a dramatic game. The reason the win was so good, it's not like we beat someone who was just marginal. Mineola's a good team, and I'll go further than that. Blackwell has established that as a good program. That's not just a good team when they have good players. They have good coaches. That's a good program. And so both teams had some players missing. Notably, Mineola was missing T.J. Moreland, their quarterback, so that was impactful. Canton was missing Tootie Prox.
Cam Shaw was there until about the first series.
Right, the starting running back, Cam Shaw, and then Wyckoff, starting defensive lineman, was out. Okay, so some players missing from both teams. The first half was a defensive struggle. It was Canton had less than 79 yards total offense.
Wow.
And Mineola had, I want to say, 165 yards, but 2 of those were on Pendergrass runs, 40 and 70. You take those out, and both teams just stopped each other, and it was 14-3 at halftime. So second half was much the same, it seemed like. Both teams, I think we exchanged punts 2 or 3 of the first possessions there. The first action happened late in the third quarter. You know what happened? Pendergrass pick six. And suddenly it's 21-3, and I mean the air went out of North Birdwell Stadium. Am I right about that, Joel?
Yeah, it was flat.
I saw some people walking out, I think.
Oh, no.
It felt really bad.
I bet they regret that now.
I think they do. And it felt really, really bad. But the thing that turned the game was the Eagles' defense. And they were able to create 3 turnovers in the last quarter. An interception by Frankie Rubio to start it off, and then 2 forced fumbles. They scored touchdowns on all 3 of those. So 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, including a Juan Robles. You know what we call him now?
911.
911. If you got trouble, call 911.
I love it.
It included a Juan Robles 4th and goal run from the 5-yard line to put the Eagles up for the first time. And so that put the Eagles up. Eagles go for 2. Brisboe, on a quarterback sneak up the middle, makes his way in, and that makes it 24-21. And so pandemonium ensued in North Birdwell Stadium. I've never seen things so wild and exciting there. Have you, Ken?
Personally, I'm just saying I would like it if it wasn't so exciting, because my indigestion can't handle that much upset stomach. There's not enough Pepto-Bismol in the world to handle that. I'm just throwing that out there right now.
Well, just when we thought it was over, just when we thought everything was nice and cozy.
We're hanging it up.
Here comes Dawson.
Oh, my goodness. So the 2 teams went 4 and out, respectively. Mineola got the ball back. Can't stop him on downs. Canton got the ball back, turned it over on downs with, I believe, 9 seconds left, if I'm not wrong. And they throw a delay screen pass to Pendergrass, and I'm telling you, that sucker, I thought he was gone.
Did you get nervous?
Oh, more than that. More than that.
No, nervous.
I thought this is going to be the biggest collapse in the history of high school football.
We're done.
And you know who tracked? I watched the replay today. Who tracked him down was Juan Robles.
Yes.
I watched and had to look and see who all. Watching it live, Jabraylon Pickens got blocked, and I was just watching it in real time. Pickens got blocked, and I thought, if he gets blocked, we can't catch him. Pendergrass is gone, and Pickens got knocked down. And all of a sudden, 24 comes out of nowhere
So here's what I got
and
to
turns
say.
him back, and we tackle him. The game's over. But I thought, really,
Here's what I
Pendergrass
got
is
to
gone.
say about that. I like the 911, but I'm just saying, please, for the love of God, don't let us have to use 911 that much. I mean, come on. Let's use it in an emergency, but other than that, let us save that for when there's an emergency.
My heart can barely take it.
I can't.
Can
No.
barely take it.
Hold on, Effie. I'm having the begging.
Okay, well, Fred, I'm going to run through a few stats here for the Eagles. You had Robles, and most of this is in the second half. 23 carries, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then you had Jaden Brown. He came in 8 carries, 40 yards. Receiving, Jabraylon Pickens had 3 catches, 55 yards, but one was the first touchdown that started the comeback. Jack Day, that's one I want to talk about also. The Eagles found out 2 things this week. They found out they had a running back other than Cam Shaw, and that was big. And they found out they had a wide receiver who could come in and do some dirty work and fill in for Tootie Prox. Jack Day, senior, he came in, he caught 5 balls for 63 yards, and 2 of those were extremely important. They moved the chains. And so Jack came in and did a great job. You know, there's something to be said for what happens when everyone gets involved. It creates something on the sidelines and among the team, and the energy. It's just special, and that's kind of what happened. I feel like Jack Day, he did a great job receiving the freshman Cannon Valenzuela. He had 2 catches for 26 yards. He's going to be a big part of this team. And then some team stats before we finish here. Like we said, Mineola was somewhat limited because they did not have the quarterback, so what they could do on offense was limited. Canton had, in the first half, Canton had 90 yards, and Mineola had 170. In the second half, Canton had 328 yards of offense, and Mineola only had 92. For the game, Canton had a total offense of 418 yards, Mineola 260. And so it was really the second half was where it all happened for Canton. Time of possession, Canton had 31 minutes. Mineola had 16. Total first downs, Canton had 21. Mineola 8. Total plays, Canton had 59. Mineola 34. So offensively, Canton was just able to control the ball. And the turnovers ended up being created the opportunities for the offense in the second half. No injuries in that game except Cam Shaw, and I guess can't give any details on that. He probably won't be playing next week, but he's not lost for the season. No. Okay. Anything else on that, guys?
I just want to say, last year we saw Canton against Van in Van, and one thing that was impressive to me was Canton's offense. How with Brisboe at quarterback, Pickens at receiver, Cam Shaw, Prox, they all were fantastic offensively. But the problem with Canton last year was the defense, not being able to really stop anybody. They could put up points,
Good point.
Couldn't really stop anybody. So to me, the most impressive thing is to hold Mineola to no points and to really rely on that defense for the comeback. Not have to outscore them, but to be able to hang on the defense. I think that bodes well for Canton going forward when it takes pressure off the offense. You don't
Absolutely.
have to score 50 points a game. You can win a 24-21 game and rely on that defense. So I think that's big for Canton. And for Mineola, you said they had how many yards total offense? 260?
I had
like
260, I think.
Well, I was just going to say that Dawson had 201 of those.
Yes.
So that's the problem that Mineola is going to run into going down the line is and you're right, TJ Moreland was out, so that hurts. But Dawson's, you don't want him to do too much on that, and he's expected to do a lot. Defensively, offensively, punting, and all that. So he's asked to do a lot. But Mineola will be all right going forward. They're in a really tough district. But I think they'll get things turned around this week in a game we'll talk about. But
KO, that's a great point. I think I said at some point in the broadcast, Pendergrass was touching the ball every play on offense, asked to play on defense. You can't help but wear down.
Yeah.
And I thought on that last play of the game, he didn't have the juice.
Yeah.
You know, and
Right.
that made the difference. But he's trying to carry that load. What does Redding? Who's Redding? He played quarterback.
Caleb Redding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his? Is he have a position
freshman.
other than that?
As far as I know, he's a freshman that is up there playing because TJ's out.
Okay.
That's what I know.
He can run.
Yeah, he's a good athlete. Look for him in baseball season because I've heard rumors that he is a top baseball prospect as
Okay.
a freshman. So, but yeah, I watched a little bit of the game on the stream today at work, and it just looked like to me that Mineola was just limited offensively, and and Canton kind of zeroed in on that and was like, "Well, you got to give credit to Canton for that because I mean, you can know what's coming, but can you stop it?"
That's
And
right.
So,
That's right.
Canton stepped up to the plate, so good job by the Eagles.
One thing that I wanted to say, last year, even though Mineola has a lot of kids playing both ways, Canton ran out of gas last year, from what I could tell. And then I think this year it was kind of the reversal, and I still think a big part of that is the Canton offense hanging on to the ball so long that our defense was able to stay fresh. I mean, you said they ran less than
Good
40
point.
plays, and that allowed the defense to stay fresh. And then, of course, the smaller schools are going to have kids that play both ways. What was the running back last year?
Travion Sneed.
Travion. So towards the end of the game last year, it would look like he could barely crawl back to the huddle. and then you hand him the ball and he takes off like like
Right.
nothing
The
happened.
adrenaline kicks in.
Yeah.
But this year there's just so much.
Thank you, Barry.
I like it.
I know you do. I know you do. Now, calm down, Barry. Calm down.
But that's one of the things. And with Mineola, and of course, this is something the smaller schools are going to do. That endurance and the being in shape will only get better the longer they play.
Right.
And in a first game, it was almost 90 degrees.
Yeah, it was hot outside,
at
too.
kickoff. So,
Right.
I mean, that zaps you. And when you're playing both ways, there's only so much gas the tank can hold to start
right.
with. So,
Struggling.
That's right. That's what you do. That's what you do,
you
Joe.
struggle.
And that's a good observation, Joe. Okay, so the Eagles, we'll be brief on this. Parish North Lamar coming up. Eagles travel to Parish North Lamar next Friday. Last year, if you remember, that was a 65-19 win in the favor of the Eagles. So last week, I just happened to notice that they lost to Crum, that Parish North Lamar lost to
Big,
Crum,
yeah.
42-0. So, I'm not saying anything at all.
I'll say it. I think Canton's
Okay, you can say
I
it.
think Canton will win by 3 or 4 touchdowns. Let's go.
Thank you, and thank you, Michael. That's right. I hope so. We're gonna go over there. We're at their place,
Yeah.
Last time we went over there, we got beat, so we
Yeah.
better go over there and stay serious. We're not gonna have some of our best players, and I'm doing all kind of coach speaking right now. but I hope it doesn't look like the Benny Hill show. But we're gonna go over there. Kickoff 7:30, on air around 7 or so. And that's going to be on 95.1 FM. The broadcast situation is another game. Okay, I'm asking this. I don't know. Is another game on 99 point? Okay.
Yeah.
9.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I didn't know how the configuration worked there. So we still got 2 games going on 2 signals there.
You
Good.
got so.
Beef jerky time. You want some beef jerky?
No, I'm good
There's
right now.
plenty,
Thanks. But so 95.1 will always have the Canton Eagles. That's it. And KMU will not carry Canton because y'all are carrying Canton. So we'll have another game from around our area every week.
See,
We've
that's
combined
the
our
beauty.
powers. That's what we've
We
done.
are now mega broadcasters.
KO's going to call me on the way home from Paris next week, and I'm going to tell y'all everything that happened.
And
We're going to
then-
be so fired up.
And then you're going to be dropped out while you're going along.
You're gonna be-
KO's going to be going the air going, Ta.
No, that's not going to happen. That's not going to
Ta.
happen.
Oh, hey, you're back. Okay, so what happened again?
All right, so that's your Canton Eagles. Congratulations to Coach Hubble and his staff and the boys. That's a great win, well deserved, and we're on to Paris North Lamar next week. Okay, so who do y'all want to go to next? Do we have anyone? Do we have anything on Wills Point?
I pulled up a little something.
Go ahead, KO.
Well, it's really about Brook Hill. But
Yeah, it's-
but that's who Wills Point.
You
Well,
get what
listen,
you can get.
But yeah, you get what you can get. So Wills Point lost 26-3 last week to Bullard Brook Hill. The quarterback for Brook Hill went 17 of 25, 246 yards, 3 touchdown passes. The ground attack was led by Ben Vargas for Brook Hill, 8 carries, 61 yards. It says that Brook Hill tallied 375 total yards, 246 through the air, and 129 on the ground. From what I know, talking to Coach Pointer at Wills Point, they're kind of changing the offense this year, trying to be more run-oriented. And, I mean, I think that's good when it works. When it doesn't work, you get put behind the chains in long situations, and that becomes a problem. I think Wills Point is they're trying to turn things around. Coach Pointer, a first-year head coach last year at Wills Point,
Right.
had a rough year, and again, dealing with COVID and all that, it's not the easiest time to be a first-year head coach. But a tough loss last week for Wills Point. It doesn't get any easier this week with Mineola, which shameless plug. Friday night, yeah, thank you. Friday night on KMU, we'll be in Mineola for the Mineola Yellow Jackets taking on the Wills Point Tigers. There
That's
it is.
not a shameless plug, KO. You just say it.
It's just there.
It's there.
So we get to see Wills Point Friday, but I'm excited to see kind of what you want to see improvement from Wills Point.
Absolutely.
And you want to see them just improve week in and week out. So I think they'll be okay going forward. They just got to get that new system under them.
Right. Go ahead, Jim.
Earlier in the season, Coach Pointer had said that, they count on the pre-district. Essentially, the season's broken up into multiple seasons. The pre-district's kind of the first part of the season that's separate, and they like it being tough or most people like it being tough because it gets you ready for district. So,
Sure.
you know, they're acknowledging that Brook Hill's not bad and Mineola's not bad. I mean, they're strapping it on, you know, right here at the beginning. And there were a few kids that he had kind of pointed out before the season started. There's Holden Fletcher, Shane Chrisman, and I don't know if that's Jace or JC Daniel, and Kyle Wilson. He's got some players that are coming back. They're not as young as they were last year. I know last Friday didn't go as well as they had hoped, but I don't know that the pre-district is really the area that they're hoping is going to be their best part of the season. They're hoping that they get through these tough games first and then get into district. And their district's going to be tough too. I mean, it's got Caddo in there. I mean, you know, they've got some tough games in district too.
Don't necessarily judge them on their non-district record necessarily.
You know, it may be tough for the first few weeks, but you know, by the time they get the kinks worked out, changing their offense, things like that, then hopefully district will be a lot better. And I'll try to talk to Coach next week and come back with some more.
Yeah, I wish him some success. Last year was a really tough year, as you mentioned, and for all we know, is Brookhaven.
Brook Hill.
Brook Hill.
Yeah.
For all we know, they're great this year.
They traditionally they have a good program, so I mean it's not like they're a slouch.
Have y'all been to Brook Hill?
It's nice.
It looks like when you drive onto their campus, it looks like they said, whatever costs the most, we want that.
It almost looks like a college campus.
It does.
Yeah.
It is
a
impressive.
private school, and it's very nice. So
Yes.
they're no slouches, but
No.
Will's Point will get it turned around.
I like that. Okay. All right. So Will's Point has who coming up?
Mineola on
And-
Friday.
Okay.
And it's on
that's
Cayman.
right. Okay. Okay. Awesome. On to who do you want to do next? Any preference? We had an exciting game in Edgewood.
Yeah, Edgewood.
Exciting game in Edgewood. They had Commerce, and I looked at that. They've played Commerce 6 straight years in a pre-district schedule, and they have won 4 of the last 6. But last year, Commerce got the best of them. I think it was 42-10. As you know, Edgewood, they've got a new coach. They got Coach Alex Guerrera. He's from Hallsville, an assistant there. In Dave Campbell Magazine, you guys have probably looked at it. They're predicted to win the district, and that's high praise there.
Yeah.
With Palmer in that district and some other really good teams, Edgewood projected to win that. Got their quarterback back. You've got Hayden Wilcoxon, and so Coach Kevin Bachtel, their coach last year, he moved on to, I believe it was Howard Payne.
Yes.
His brother's a coach there. He's going to be the defensive coordinator there. He had really done a good job, established really in the 5 years that he was there. He ran up a fantastic win-loss record, and you feel like he changed that culture completely. So Coach Guerrero came in, got his first win, but it was a close one.
Yeah.
It was exciting.
It was tight. I just pulled up something on that Edgewood Commerce game. It looks like Hayden Wilcoxon had a 6-yard scoring run on a 10-play, 73-yard drive for Edgewood. But they missed the extra point, so Commerce was up 7-6. Then Commerce answered and made it 14-6. Edgewood's Casey Leith caught a 6-yard touchdown pass, but the conversion failed, so they were down 14-12. That was the score at halftime. The Bulldogs opened the second half on a scoring drive with a 15-yard scoring run by Noah Boone and failed the conversion, so they were up 18-14. Commerce answered with a big catch and run to take a 21-18 lead. And then Edgewood took advantage of a bad snap and notched a safety to get 2 points to make it 21-20. And then after trading possessions, Noah Boone scored from 3 yards out to give Edgewood a 26-21 lead. And Edgewood intercepted a Commerce pass on 4th and 25 with 34 seconds left to seal the game.
Yep.
Something funny about that. I was speaking to our friend on Edgewood Bulldog Radio there, Paul Cates. And I said, I just texted him. I said, Paul, how'd the winning score happen? You know, who ran it in? He said Noah Boone, and he said he ran through a hole big enough for the Edgewood marching band to go through. And so it's pretty well described there, Paul. I told you I was going to use that on the air, and he said, well, our band's not that big. And so anyway, Noah Boone.
I like it.
Just a few stats here for the Bulldogs. That was a 26-21 victory over Commerce. Wilcoxon, did you just read all the stats?
No.
Okay, Wilcoxon rushing 17 rushes for 104 yards. Nate Sims, who I want to say had an ACL last year, injury of some kind, was having a good year. He came in 21 rushes, 116 yards. Noah Boone, 12 rushes, 106 yards. They had 3 rushers in over 100 yards. And their total rushes, 53 for 345. Total yards, 368 yards. And so the Bulldogs kind of did it their way. What Paul Cates told me, probably one of the big strengths of the Bulldogs is the offensive line is strong. And they really wore down the Commerce D-line. They were able to open holes and control the ball. And so that's how he said it kind of unfolded. So great job for Coach Alex Guerrera. And his first game, it's a win. And the Bulldogs go on to play, I believe that is Emory Reigns.
That's right. That's actually going to be our bonus game. We'll have bonus coverage of that one.
Well, okay. What do you know about that? Anything?
So I know last year Reigns won big over Edgewood, but 2 new coaches this year. Reigns has a new head coach. Edgewood's got a new head coach, so I think you could throw last year's score kind of out. Reigns is coming off a big loss last week to Farmersville against their former coach, Coach Barnes.
What was that score?
It was 49-36.
Yeah. Okay.
So Farmersville beat Reigns. And Coach Barnes is now, who was the head coach at Reigns, is now at Farmersville. So they were playing former.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
interesting dynamic there.
And so Reigns took a tough loss last week. I think this Reigns-Edgewood game is going to be a really good game. Edgewood sounds like, from the years we've covered them, they always have a good running attack. That's what Edgewood can hang their hat on, is they're going to ground and pound. And it sounds like they got 3 rushers over 100 yards. It's there again.
They only threw it 4 times in the game, I think.
I think Reigns is going to have their hands full, but Reigns is known for offense. Like, you can Reigns put up a lot of points last year, and they put up 36, which will win you a lot of games on last Friday night. So I think this Reigns-Edgewood game is going to be a sneaky good game on Friday night. I think it'll be real competitive.
Something that Paul cautioned me on. He said, "Don't think that Hayden Wilcoxon can't throw the ball. The stats sound like they don't want him to throw it, but the run game was working. Commerce never stopped it. That kid can throw it, and he can run it as well. So don't sleep on him being able to throw the ball.
If you're getting 300 yards rushing, though, you don't need to throw the ball.
No, you're right. You're exactly right. So, okay, so good luck to Coach Guerrera and the Bulldogs as they move on to Reigns next week. What's next, guys? Who have we not covered?
Fruitvale.
What do you know about Fruitvale?
I know they lost last week to Fannondale, 39-8. I do know that it was better than the year before. They got mercy ruled by Fannondale the year before, so they're doing a little improvement. Coach Trent Taylor, they don't have a lot of. I mean, it's 6-man, but they don't have a lot of numbers out for Fruitvale.
Right.
So they're kind of struggling there. I do know also that Fruitvale ISD shut down this week for COVID.
I didn't know that.
They were scheduled to play Longview Christian Heritage on Thursday. It was originally scheduled for Friday, got moved to Thursday. Now it's canceled. Fruitvale's not playing Thursday. So
okay.
That I just hope. I mean, with a small school like that, you get 4 or 5 at Canton. If 4 or 5 kids are out and some teachers are out, you can get those replaced. But at a 1A, a 6-man, you lose 4 or 5
That's
kids.
half your team.
Yeah, right. So I just hope that everybody gets healthy over there and they're able to play. But I think Fruitvale, they're in a tough district. They got Gilmer Union Hill, who's a powerhouse in 6-man, and Leverett Chapel, who's not a slouch either. Their school shut down too. But 2 teams making it in 6-man, it's going to be tough for Fruitvale to make the playoffs. They're going to have to beat either Leverett Chapel or Union Hill, so it's tough.
It's tough, and it's at some point you gotta for Fruitvale, you got to get some traction established there as a program. You're not going to just step up and win the district one year.
Right.
You got to win a couple of games, win a few more, establish a little something, and get it going.
And here's a question for you: Have either one of y'all gone and watched a 6-man game?
I have not.
I've
wanted to. I was going to go Thursday until the game got.
So I'm going to tell you, if you've never had a chance to, do it. It is a different kind of football. I'm a golf cart ride from the football field, and I've been over there, and sometimes I'll just go and park in the parking lot and watch. It's wide open. It's hard to describe. It's not like normal football. It is fast paced.
Hold on, Joe. I'm going to tell you, the greatest football ever designed. It's not the Dallas Cowboys.
We got a 6-man player right there.
A former 6-man player right here. It is 6-man football is the greatest football ever designed by anybody. Because here's the deal. It's basketball on a shortened football field. I mean, it is fast-paced. You watch football, people are playing, they're running along. Oh, yeah, well, we're going for the next down. Don't get me wrong.
We're going to cover one of those one night.
The last game,
it
the
is
last
crazy.
game for Canton was crazy. I mean, it was crazy. But the thing about a six-man football game is it is either completely crazy or it's a slaughter. I mean, that's the deal. There is no in between. I was a center, and as a center, I could run out for a pass.
Yeah.
You can't do that in a
I
lesson.
know what you did. I've heard what you did.
We're not going to talk about that.
Took a handoff, huh?
Yeah. No.
Stop, Brad. I know what you did.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. But anyway, no, six-man football is if you've never witnessed
We
a
gotta go.
six-man game.
We
and
need
I'm
to
just
go
saying,
cover a game one
most
year.
of the teams around here are going to have at least one bye week scheduled. There may be a COVID week where you have an extra game off.
And
I just
Fruitvale
encourage
may be
everybody.
playing.
I just encourage everybody. If you've never seen six-man football, it's kind of like a bucket list. You got to do it, and it's just something that you can't really describe. What he said, basketball. I mean, imagine if everybody wore pads on a basketball court and you open it up and you just have to hit each
That's
other.
right.
It really is just different.
I'm
Hold
gonna
on.
ask
Here's
Coach,
an elbow.
I'm going to ask Coach Taylor if Ken can play one down at running back. I'm going to set it up ahead of time, but just at the right time, he's going to go in and run the ball one time.
I'm going to go with no.
I got it figured out for y'all. So Canton's bye week is October 15th. That's when they have an open date. Fruitvale plays at home against Campbell on October 15th at 7 o'clock.
That's a win right there.
We should cover it.
There you go.
John.
That's a win right there.
Hold on just a second. John, you are listening. We've
Wait a
talked to
minute. See if you can
Tia,
get confirmation.
Taw, and the counselor.
If Canton's out, I've already got plans that weekend. But
I do too. Me and my wife will be in Nashville that
So,
week.
never mind.
Really?
X-day that.
but
I shouldn't have said that.
But if, I
should've
will
just
tell
let
you
it go.
this: if there happened to be somebody who cancels with Canton on a weekend because of COVID,
Yeah.
I would.
I think we almost did that last week.
We did.
Yeah, okay.
It was
All right.
almost a done deal last time.
that
COVID.
would be, yeah.
All right.
'cause that
It's
would
on the
be
list.
A great, yeah, it doesn't.
It's on the list.
I
We're gonna
thought
have
about-
to. You'll have to watch
Awesome.
it beforehand because you're not going to be
Yeah.
able to describe it unless you've practiced
Coach
it.
Taylor asked me when I talked to him, he's like, are you covering a game this year? I said, man, I don't know the rules well enough to get out there and try to do play-by-play for a six-man.
It would be. It's similar. Like if you had to go cover a Canadian game,
Yeah.
you're going to think they're false starting because
Right.
everybody's running everywhere.
Right. He said,
mean,
like,
it's-
to go for one, it's two. But to go for two, it's one. Like, where you would normally go for, like, kick an extra point, it's 2 points. And where you would normally go for two, it's just 1 point.
Yeah.
Field goals are worth 4.
First down.
Yeah, 3 for a
15
first
yards.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's
It ain't 10.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
yeah, so I'd have to watch it, like you said,
Yeah.
before I got out there and
All
tried to do
right,
anything.
he got 7. He got 7 on that one. He said 3 from a. Well, no, wait, hold on.
Like,
Se-
you'll
15
think they're making
minus-
it up. How did he get 4? Because they needed 4? Is that why they gave him 4?
right. It's. I've watched it when they get to the state championships in Arlington.
Right.
I've watched it online, and I'm just enamored with it.
I've
Like,
seen
I
it
just-
on. I've seen it on TV.
But I was gonna go this Thursday to the Fruitvale game until I found out they got shut down, and so I was disappointed.
Well, hopefully, Coach Taylor will have some success this year and kind of get that thing on track. We're certainly pulling for him. I
Yeah,
know that.
absolutely.
I know that. So, okay, guys. So I think we got one more team left. Am I right?
Van.
The Van Vandals.
The Van Vandals had a ball game, and we got to pick up the slack here because our man, I call him the godfather of East Texas high school football, David Barber. He's not here to cover him, so we're just going to have to try to pick up the slack. It's like the backup quarterback coming in
That's
and
tough.
just trying to get the game over with.
Shaquille
And I know you're-
O'Barber.
Thank you.
I know David gave you a ton of stuff, but I just want to ask if this is correct.
Go for it.
Jackson Rainey had 275 yards and 4 touchdowns that he threw. Touchdown with his feet. Is that?
He had I want to say it was like a 75-yard touchdown run. He had over 400 yards of offense by himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's what David said.
Yeah.
Yeah, Van finished with 551 total yards of offense. And you talk about balance, 275 rushing and 276 passing.
You can't get much better
Yeah,
than that.
No.
he's balanced.
Yeah.
That's really balanced. Let's see. And so he gives some stats, as David always does, very thorough. Defensively, junior linebacker Bo Barton, a returning starter, had 10 unassisted tackles, 6 assisted tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 2 QB sacks. That man was busy.
Yeah, he had a busy night.
What
he
an
needed
impact.
some Gatorade afterwards.
Yes. Van's defense, they had 4 QB sacks, 3 fumble recoveries. Wow, they turned the ball over a lot. Let's see. That's next week. Let's see what else. What else is notable here? Let's see. Their standout wide receiver, Luka, is that Kosev?
Kosev, yeah.
Kosev caught 6 passes for 169 yards and 3 touchdowns. Man, he's one to watch.
Yeah, and Braden Bradshaw, another receiver, they got 2 weapons on the outside. The only question for Van this year is who's going to run the football. But if Jackson Rainey's running it for 190 yards, you don't need a running back. But that's kind of the question this year. Last year, Javonte Thomas did everything for Van. So losing him, he went to Lamar. So that's a big loss. But they just need to find somebody that can consistently run the football because you can't depend on Jackson to get 190 yards every night.
No, but you look at you look at these receivers now taking up the slack there.
Yeah. They got some weapons.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the defense stepping up like that, they're going to be good. I look for Van to have a really good year.
Palestine was from what a few people I knew went to the game. They were very talented as always, very athletic, big guys. And so they were. This is not. Van won that 45-16, and that's a pretty good Palestine team. Let's see if there's anything else before we move on there. 551 yards of total offense is pretty strong there against a team like as athletic as Palestine.
Right. And it's not gonna get easy for Van. They got Malakoff this week at home, who's a top 10 team in the state.
Now of course, you read the chatter back and forth on that app. Is Malakoff legit? Because you kind of get the back and forth. They're
they
not
lost
as good
by
as,
3 to Grandview, and Grandview's a really good team.
Yeah, so that's where I think that may be misleading. I think Malakoff may still be really good. It just happened to be that Grandview is equally as good.
Yeah, and I think Malakoff's going to be really good. And then the following week, Van takes on Lindell at home, who just made it to the state finals last year. So these next 2 games for Van are going to tell a lot about the Vandals. And I think they didn't win against Malakoff last year, but played them pretty competitively. I think Van, if they could, it sounds like we're beating a dead horse here. If they could control the ball, control the clock, keep Malakoff off the field, and make it a shorter game, I think Van has a really good chance. And if those weapons can get going against Malakoff, the Vandals could pull off that upset Friday night.
And with Rainey controlling that ball and not turning it over, you got senior leadership at the quarterback spot there. That can mean a lot. What's y'all's prediction with Van and Malakoff next week?
I think Van will I want Van to win.
I do too.
I want Van to win.
I don't.
Hold on.
I grew up in Grand Saline, and no.
Hold on.
I will never say.
Well, I grew up in Lindell. So
Coach Moffitt, I didn't say that. That was Joel said that. I didn't say that.
Here's the deal, and I'll tell you right now, the Barton kid runs hurdles. I watched him. My son ran hurdles.
He's an athlete.
He's an athlete. I mean, think about that. You have a defensive end and a linebacker running hurdles. That's.
And
what
he made it to the regionals. I think.
He made the finals at regionals.
Yeah.
So I respect Van. But I've never liked Van because I'm from Grand Saline. But I will tell you right now,
You can't help it.
I think Van is legit. I think Moffitt's he's been there long enough to where Moffitt could go in and tell everybody you need to wear pink this week, and the whole school would wear pink.
Absolutely.
He has that program under control.
He's one of those guys.
It's kind of it's one of those where you don't need to rebuild, you just reload every year, and that's what they're doing. And I mean, you lose a kid like Javonte. And you think, oh, well, that's got to hurt. Well, obviously, it's
not.
It didn't. So, I respect the school's program that Moffitt has set up, and I don't want them to win. But I kind of, I'm kind of believing after Malakoff lost, I thought, well, Van may, it may not be like last year. They could win by a touchdown or 2.
At this early in the season, it's so hard to tell.
It is.
I mean, you don't really know because how good is Grandview? How good is Palestine? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell this early in the year. And I understand where you're coming from. I'm from Lindell. It is like vinegar coming out of my mouth to say go Van. But I've covered them long enough now, and I love Coach Moffitt to death. So and I'm pretty fond of David Barber. So I'm okay with Van now.
I'm mad at David because I like Van now.
Right.
Hey, it reminds me of a 90s song.
I'll never forgive him.
No. It reminds me of a 90s song. Coach Moffitt, stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you used to. My name is Moffitt. I'm with Van.
He just wins. That's all he does.
I just win.
Yeah.
He just wins. That's all he does.
Stop it. Stop the winning.
Van is doing a great job. You can't help but we do love our brethren from Van. That's no joke. Hey, good rivalries that are no good unless you got each other.
Yeah.
And so that's That's just how it is. And so
I will say, I think in the district with Van and Canton, I think it'll come down to Van and Canton. Whoever wins that game will win the district. That's my prediction.
That's what Dave Campbell Magazine seems to think.
Well,
I'm going to say.
What do you know from funny?
Playoffs? Don't talk about
That's
we're talking playoffs in week 2.
Not yet, Coach. Not yet. Okay. Michael. All right. So I guess that wraps up our reviews and previews of the previous week. And week 1's in the books, but, man, week 2 is out there. There are teams still undefeated trying to stay undefeated. You got teams that have winnable games in front of them. They need to win those. And so I'm excited about this. What do you guys have? Any closing remarks before we sign off?
I do. And this is to the Canton fans that are listening to this show.
Well, hurry up.
I'm going to harass KO on the way back from Paris on Friday night. I want the rest of the Canton fans to do the same thing. There's a spirit stick that I think my wife was the only person who voted for Canton last week. So call and harass KO, get Canton's name in there.
I'm going to say we're glad to have KO with us, buddy.
Look,
and Michael on.
He's repping Canton here.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Shout out to Coach Hubble hooking me up.
That's right.
And if Michael Lowe's listening, you owe this man a shirt.
Well,
That's
where's
twice.
my shirt from Elliot?
That's what you got to do.
Hey, leave here. We'll run up the street. I'll get you a football. I'll get you some fans, some clappers, or some clickers. T.O. get you some clappers. We'll have you cantoned up before the night's over.
Hold on. The big finger, the big finger.
What are you
The whole
doing?
thing, just pointing it out, going.
What are
hold
you
on.
doing, Junior?
Right there, the big finger. Right there, the big finger.
Okay. Well, guys, I think that about wraps it up for the
Sign us off, brother.
first Huddle show of the year. We'll be back here 6 o'clock at the Q and Brew next week. Until then, enjoy week 2 of the high school football season, and we will see you next week.
And all this live entertainment from the 3 Muskie Mahoos. No, from the 3 Musketeers.
There
That's
will
the
be
word I
4.
was looking for.
Yeah.
But there will be 4.
Well, David may be back next week.
He should be.
And I think we should say that the Huddle show will be replayed tomorrow
Yes.
at
7.
7 o'clock, I do believe.
Yes, it will be replayed
On
tomorrow,
KMOO.
7 p.m. at 99.9 KMOO.
Nobody
Our
tells me
sister
anything, so it's
station.
news to me.
I'm just learning things. KO.
So the athletic director did not know.
We're struggling
that
just a
is-
little bit here tonight. It's
I
the
know
first
nothing.
game. We're not mid-season form here, okay?
Absolutely
Give us a
not.
break.
Hey, you know what I'm thinking?
That's right.
I'm just
Thank you.
saying,
That describes
that
it.
could be our sign-out music right
We're
there.
out.
That could be our sign-out music. And, hey, that does it for 95.1, 99.9, KWJB, and KMOO. I have, to my left, my immediate left, we have the counselor, Joel Elliott. We have Ta Hale. And we have KO from KMOO, who is the overall sports guru. I mean, think about it. You two guys, y'all are just.
I'm still working towards being
Y'all are
here.
lightweights.
It didn't happen overnight.
Y'all
okay?
are lightweights. I mean, you got Canton, you got Grand.
I'm still working
you got
on it.
Fruitvale, you got Edgewood. What else do you got?
Just don't worry about it.
Will's Point and
Now,
Van.
Will's Point. Yeah, here we go. And Van. And what
Myrtle
does KO
Springs.
have?
We ain't got time. 19 different schools.
All right. So anyway,
All those and plus 12.
and plus 12. Hey, thank you very much for joining us tonight, right here
Thank
live
you, everyone.
on Facebook and YouTube, because we're broadcasting simultaneously, even if you don't have Facebook. And so, having said that, that's it for us tonight for this great sports Never mind. I'm just going to end it right there.
Bye.
Whatever. Bye.